by almost 36%, which doesn't surprise, they age into that category, right? In the final 3 months of last year. 80% of Gen Z debt is on credit cards, while car loans account for most of the remaining. So you're seeing what I talk about. You're about to come into some heavy-duty Orwin years. 80% of their debt, credit cards, car loans accounted for most of the remaining, so 20%. In other words, they're not in mortgage debt. My oldest guy's 22, he doesn't have a mortgage. TransUnion has only been tracking Gen Z as a distinct group for a year or so. Again, they're just aging in, which means it's too soon to draw conclusions. But Q4 snapshot from last year shows Gen Z is increasing its borrowing at a faster rate than the rest of the population, doing a worse job of making payments on time. Rookie borrowers are prone to make mistakes. There's nothing new. They're figuring out what a late payment means, says Matt Fabian, Director of Research for TransUnion. There are signs that Gen Z's borrowing habits are about more than just youthful obliviousness. This is the first generation that is fully immersed in digital, which is scary because there is absolute no delayed gratification when that happens. There's more access to things from a credit perspective. For example, apps such as digital wallets that allow us to walk around and tap for things. Previous generations didn't have access to this tech in their formative years. TransUnion says the average debt delinquency, so they track that. In other words, who's having trouble paying? Rate for the country fell 0.23 of a percentage point to 5% in the fourth quarter, which means that 5% of all the debt in the country is delinquent. Delinquent means late. That's not a good sign. If you're late paying, red flags go up. Gen Z alone rose 0.39% to almost 6%. So these kids are taking on debt and not able to pay because they watch their parents do it. Being delinquent on a debt means being 90 days or more late. So that's bad news. 90 days means you're probably not going to get paid. Average national non-mortgage debt balance grew to $29,000. Let's just take a moment and talk about what that means. The average Canadian adult owes 30 grand, not on a mortgage. Don't forget, I don't mind having a mortgage because I have an asset that grows. Correct? If I have a mortgage, it's to finance a home that goes up in value. If I have a car loan, I'm financing a car that goes down in value. Average Canadian carries $29,000 of non-mortgage debt. That should scare the hell out of us. So, what a nice segue into this. Guess what? This whole article is about how to start saving when you've saved nothing and you've just turned 50. The Globe is putting this article in the paper because this is the reality. There's always a reason not to save. I'm 22. Oh, yeah, I just finished university. I deserve a car. So you and I know my line there is you don't deserve a car. I don't care if you're 22. You don't deserve a new car. It's time to look at buying a used car, a lease rollover. Hey there, come on in. Just my finance club. I'm just wrapping up. You're welcome to come in though. No worries. I'm 35. Well, okay. I need to move into a bigger house because I'm about to start my family. Right? My condo's too small. I'm 40. Well, my kids are getting to the point where I need to start thinking about their costs. So when do you start to save for your retirement? Your parents love you. You're expensive. The average cost to raise a kid in this culture is over 100 grand. You should go home and hug mom and dad. Start to add up all of the programs you're in, the dance lessons, this. Incredibly important to realize how much it costs to raise a child. So, what do we learn? When Barbara Stewart, a chartered financial analyst and finance researcher from Toronto, celebrates birthday with friends, she's got a sage piece of wisdom for those who turn 50. I always say, welcome to the second half of your life. After years of taking care of careers, family, other people, women in particular, are ready for that next stage. 50 is when you're going to become your authentic self. Sounds so schmarmy, but it's true. It also means you have to bloody well start saving. Unfortunately, many Canadians are putting off retirement savings and planning until later in life, if they do it at all. According to a 2016 survey commissioned by the OSC, more than half of Canadians pre-retired 50 don't have anything saved. I would say that would be a red flag. Half of Canadians who are still working hit 50 haven't saved a penny. What's more, 22% say they haven't started saving at all, like nothing. And of those who do, about a third admit they feel they're way behind. They're not socking enough away. Many reasons too. Too much debt, bone-crushing mortgage. Look at, this is your life. This is it. This is the rat race. Too much debt, bone-crushing mortgages. My friends just moved into a big house. I gotta move into a big house. Keeping up with the Joneses. Lackluster income. I can't get full-time work. I'm doing gig economy stuff. I got a job and then it ends, I got another job. Childcare expenses, spousal support, marriage breakups. Number one cause of divorce in North America, money stuff. Leaky roofs, maintenance around the house. Stuff needs fixing. There's always a reason not to save. That's why I tell you, don't choose to save. You get paid every Thursday, every other Thursday, hide and save the money every Friday. Save automatically. Don't choose to save. You will never choose to save. Something always gets in the way. Save. Pay yourself first. Do it after every pay period. It doesn't go away. Next, quickly, Tangerine. So I had a question. I want to get going. This is what I'd recommend you do. Go to Tangerine. It's a virtual bank once you turn 18. Open up an account. Dump money in. This is just their homepage. And then start investing. How easy is it? This is what we're going to invest in. It's lovely because they only have a few choices. We're not drowning in choices. Here's their funds. They're index-only funds. Ideal for long-term investing. Diversified index-based investment strategy. Reduces your costs. Cost means more money for you. We offer 5 choices. Why does it make sense to index? 80% of active mutual funds haven't been able to beat the index. Low cost is better value. We want a low MER. You get global diversification. Look, I love Canada. Go Canada, go. Cheer at the Olympics. We suck. So you've heard me hammer away up. We don't have any tech. We don't have any healthcare. Investing in Canada is dooming you to underperformance. We want to be investing internationally and invest automatically. That idea of even $50 a paycheck, $50 every 2 weeks will get you going on one of these. Let's look at the equity growth one for your long-term savings because we're young. This is where we want to have this money in. How's it done since inception? 12%. Fantastic. That is an incredible run, and you can see you'd be fully invested in equities. So about a third Canadian, about a third US, about a third international. And it is super easy to start. Basically all you do, you transfer money from your pay period, Thursdays, over to Tangerine on Friday, and you say, I want to put $50 in this fund every Friday. That's how easy it is. And when you get a little bit more money, maybe you want to bump it to $100, or you want to bump it to $150. This is not buying shares using something like the Nipissing stock market simulation. There's no commission charge for this. How cheap is this? Cheap. And you know me, I like cheap. MER, 1.07. Now, it's not as cheap as the stuff we see from iShares, but the reality is the stuff you need from iShares, you need a brokerage account, you need to have a commission paid every time you buy or sell. There's no commission here. It's dirt cheap. 1.07% is a great starting point. Save, my friends, save. By the way, no one else is doing it in the country. And the banks aren't there to help you save. The banks are there to put money in the pockets of shareholders. So they will give you credit even when you don't need it to try to have you take on more credit so they make more money. The banks don't work for you. That's it. Have a great week. Sorry we ran a little bit late today. Enjoy your March break. We'll see you in 2 weeks. Thanks.